This amendment would delete the language in the bill, the anti-protester language that increases penalties for those who participate in protests. And I want to start by pointing out the irony here as we sit here today debating this bill that would further penalize protesters, that we sit in a building that sits on Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. And our business cards, our stationery, the signs outside this building all bear his name. And when we heard these bills in committee, I learned that not everyone in this body is familiar with Letter from Birmingham Jail. To the unfamiliar, it is perhaps Dr. King's most well-known writing, a letter he wrote while in jail for peacefully protesting. In that letter, he responded to those who wondered why he came to Birmingham in the first place. And his answer was, "I am in Birmingham because injustice is here." And so I submit to you that the reason we have had more protests recently on our state is that injustice is here. I know some of you will wave that away or aren't listening because you do not see the injustice, you do not feel the injustice. That ability to wave it away is called privilege. And it is not a privilege that all Minnesotans have. I ask you to really, truly try to put yourself in the shoes of those who participate in protests. Why do you think they do it? Is it to annoy you? Is it to cause trouble? Is it to inconvenience you? The reality is that it is not about you. It is about drawing attention to injustice. And the ability to use direct action as a tool to draw attention to that injustice is at the core of what it means to be American. Throughout our history, Americans have used this tool to move our great country towards progress. Earlier this session, while we were in the Public Safety Committee, we talked about fireworks. And several representatives were in favor of expanding the freedom to buy fireworks. And the fire departments and the EMTs and many in the Public Safety Committee told us that this was a bad idea. But for many Republicans on the committee, the freedom to buy and sell fireworks superseded all of those safety concerns. So what message do you think you are sending, particularly to those who suffer these grave injustices, when you are in favor of freedom to buy fireworks, but not in favor of the freedom to exercise a constitutional right? What I implore everyone in this room and everyone watching to consider is that the message you are sending the people of Minnesota is that it is more important for you to be free than it is for others. And that is privilege, and that is injustice. I will now share with you the words of Dr. King. We know through painful experience that freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed. Frankly, I have yet to engage in a direct action campaign that was well-timed in the view of those who have not suffered unduly from the disease of segregation. Law enforcement did not ask you to make this change regarding penalties. Prosecutors did not ask you to make this change. St. Paul and Minneapolis did not ask you to make this change. And the people of Minnesota did not ask you to make this change. I encourage a yes vote on this amendment to take the language out of the bill. Thank you. Miigwech.